So welcome to the video lecture series of the subject web designing. Subject code is KCS052 and we are on the topic number 2, that is the topic name is planning and process. So for creating a very good website, there must be a well planned, and this particular plan should be executed in a proper manner. So it is a very important to set a goal, and the timeline is to make a website within the given time of the period. So because it includes a many number of steps from setting up a goal or getting the requirement analysis from the users or to reading the mind of the user or your clients, and it goes up to once you have launched your websites. And so once you launch your website, it is not the last part, because there is a one most important part, that is the maintenance, which is very important. So let's suppose this is so let's start this topic with the name is the website development and planning and process. So it's having the certain steps. So it's having a 7 steps that needs to be completed within the given time frame. So let's suppose the first one is your research and setting up goal. So it is a very important part. The reason is because it is the first and the initial steps, and this part is related to sketching out the layout and sketching out the information, what kind of information you will store in your websites, because the information you are containing in your website, that's totally depends the number of customers or number of user will hit, and they will access your information. So it is a very important one. And so to do proper the research and the goals before starting sketching out or starting writing the code of your languages. So it is a beginning, and so the planning and the goal setting process could take about the 1 to 2 weeks. So this steps is normally it's take 1 to 2 weeks to complete it within the given time frame. So this process, the first step is mostly it's completed within the 1 to 2 weeks. So once you have completed the setting up the goals, now on the next one is planning the site. And the planning at the site is related to how you are creating, how you are setting up the site map of your websites, because it includes all the number of pages, how many numbers of pages will include in your websites, and what will be the flow of the page, and how you set up the login and other the forms or the buttons kinds of. So and how many numbers of or what kind of information you will carry in your website. So this is the second phase, and it is related to the sitemap. So mostly it's take the 2 to 6 weeks to complete this particular process. Right. So the sitemap allows the developer to get an outline of what the site will look like. So what pages there will be and how they will interact with each other. So they definitely, so this sitemap will tell you how you relate all these pages from one page to the another pages. So a user should be able to easily navigate with the help of your sitemap from one page to the another page, and that begins with the development of the sitemap. So before you begin with the planning the content or writing the content or start doing the coding part of your website, you need to set up a one which is very important one, that is the planning the site. That's it. So it is related to the sitemap. Now once you have completed the sitemap, once you embedded the sitemap into your website, the third one is your designing the layout, which is very important part, because this is the layout or the representation of your websites. So your layout or your representation or the template of your website should be attractive. So it's mean it is directly proportional to the number of users or number of customers who will accessing your website. So number of users is directly proportional to the attractiveness of your layout. So the details of the layouts are what will give your website's characters. So basically this particular step is it will tell you how the creative. So you can take some more creative pictures or some more video animations, or you can give some beautification to your websites. So but you need to keep in mind, like the layout should be uniform in throughout all the pages. The picture size should be uniform in all the pages. So during this page you need to decide the particular font of the content size, or the font of the text, or the size of the pictures. So once you have completed the design and the layout, now the fourth one is the writing the content. So which is very important part, and this part is actually tells the customers how the information is informative, or the content is more informative. So you need to, there is a one important part, that is the selection of choosing the right characters, or choosing the right keywords to define the content of your writing, because you are targeting to a generalized pupils or generalized customers. So you cannot use a very tough kinds of vocabulary, or you cannot use a very common words to make it more attractive, as well as to make it understandable by for each and every person. You need to select the keywords which is easily understandable by a normal or common man also. And this step is mostly take 5 to 15 weeks. So once you have once you completed the content part, so the fifth one is coding the website, which is very important part, and it is taking the 6 to 15 weeks to complete the coding part. So this particular part taking the help from the planning the site, because we have already created a sitemap. So with the help of this sitemap, we can scratch out, or we can write the code, and we can create the pages. Similarly, it will get the help from the design the layout, because we have already set up the layouts and the plans and the number of pictures and size of the pictures. Now we can write the code to make a live websites. So this particular part, the fifth one, which is the coding in the website, mostly it takes 16 to 15 weeks. So once it is completed, now you will be moving on to the sixth part, which is very important, because it is the launching of your website. And before launching the website, you must need to test all the pages. Are they working properly? You need to test all the forms, whether it taking the informations, or whether it is updating the database, updating the data onto the databases, whether all the buttons, all the links, all the hyperlinks are working perfectly. Because before launching, this particular kind of test is very mandatory. So if you, without testing, if you launch your website and suddenly it's not working, so it gives a very wrong impact on the performance, or on the sale, or on the quality of your website. So it means testing is very important before launching the your websites. So how we can test the website? Because there is some potential users or some test users. So even you can launch it for the particular kind of person, because this kinds of in the terms of the software, we call it is a beta version. So in that case, we launch a particular piece of the code or piece of the software, and give them the rights to our test user to test it, and to make a list of those particular modules which are not popping, which are not working perfectly. Right. So similarly, in this scenario, once we created the websites, we also have to create some. We need. So for testing, we need to give the rights to our potential test user, who can test the functionality of your website, and they will list out the problems, or the modules which are not working perfectly, because it is very mandatory before launching the website. The reason is that if you launch your website without testing, and suddenly might be if it's suddenly crashed down, or a particular portion of the website is not working, so definitely it puts a very wrong message to our customers, on the users, or so definitely you will lose the customers also. So it's means the testing is very important part, and once you have tested your functionality of your website, if all the pages, all the buttons and all the forms are working perfectly, immediately it is the time to launch the website. So launching is just purchasing a hosting domain, and just launch your website, and just start publishing your websites. So this particular step, the sixth number, takes 1 to 2 weeks to complete the testing as well as launching. Now, so once you launch that, you need not to sit idle. The reason is because it is not the last step, because there is one more step that is called the maintenance, and it is very important, because to keep the number of users stable, or to increase the number of customers or the users who is accessing your website, you need to regularly update the content of your website. Because if the content of your website is not up to date, definitely you will lose the customers. Even you need to upgrade the content, or you need to upgrade the style or the layout of your website based on the experience of the users. So if you get the reviews from the users, or if you get the suggestion from the user, you need to upgrade it's on a regular basis. So that's put a very specific planning and process. If you follow all these 7 steps, if you started from research and setting up goal, so you need to set up some objectives. Once you set up some objectives, you need to planning a site. You need to create in sub site maps. So once you have created a site map, you need to select a design in the layout, colors, fonts, and the images, picture size, and the beautiful images. So once you have set up all the, or when you have completed the third phase, that is the designing and layout, you need to write the content. So which is very important part. So writing the content, you need to selecting a specific or attractive information which attract the user, and definitely your number of customers will be increasing exponentially. So once you completed the writing and the content, there is the coding in the website, because now it is the time to live the websites. So to make it a live website, you need to write the code, because only the codes can run over the on the operating system and will display the actual content which you are creating. So once you have completed the coding and website, last one is your testing and launching, because obviously without testing you cannot launch your website. Otherwise, unfortunately if it is crashed down, so definitely you will lose the customers. Last one is your maintenance, which is actually, it is an ongoing process. So it's never ended until unless you are keeping your websites live. So until unless once your site dead, you need to maintain, you need to put some maintenance over your website. You need to upgrade your content regularly. Even you need to take the suggestion from the user and to put some changes on your websites. So this is all about a good website development planning and process. So it's mean, to make it a good and attractive website, there should be a well-defined planning, and this planning should be processed in a definite manner or in a specific manner.